Vasishta is telling us the story of King Janaka. He was wandering in his pleasure garden when he heard the perfected sages sing. And it's a beautiful passage that they sing, describing the nature of their contemplation, which is the revelation of reality, basically. And they ended with talking about the pure bliss arising in the self. And rather than being inspired or uplifted by this, King Janaka gets really depressed. Vasishta continued, having heard the words of the sages, King Janaka became terribly depressed. With the utmost expedition, he retraced his steps to the palace. Quickly dismissing all his attendants, he sought the seclusion of his own chamber. In a mood of intense anguish, King Janaka said to himself, Alas, alas, I am helplessly swinging like a stone in this world of misery. What is the duration of a lifespan in eternity? Yet I've developed a love for it. Fie on the mind, what is sovereignty, even during a whole lifetime? Yet, like a fool, I think I cannot do without it. This lifespan of mine is but a trivial moment. Eternity stretches before and after it. How shall I cherish it now? It's often described when the Yoga Vasishta talks about the lives of particular individuals through various reincarnations. At some point they often become a king, and usually after becoming a king they become a holy person, because they realise the limitations of being a king, which people generally assume is worth being. And it seems a little bit harsh here. This king, he's somebody that loved life, and usually we're kind of appreciative of people that enjoy life, people that are full of life. They've got a zest for living. And clearly King Janaka is such a person. But he seems to now have discovered there's a bigger picture. And he's been stopped in his tracks, and he's having to think about things. Ah, who is that magician who has spread this illusion called the world, and thus deluded me? How is it that I'm so deluded, realizing that what is near and what is far is all in my mind? I shall give up the apprehension of all external objects. And this is quite a profound one. I've said before how notions of distance are simply that, notions. Distance is something that the cognitive process has created. He realises that everything is happening right where he is. So he's going to give up the notion that there are external objects out there to be apprehended. Knowing that all the busyness in this world leads only to endless suffering, what hope shall I cherish for happiness? Day after day, month after month, year after year, moment after moment, I see happiness comes to me bearing sorrow, and sorrow comes to me again and again. Whatever is seen or experienced here is subject to change and destruction. There is nothing whatsoever in this world which the wise would rely on. They who are exalted today are trodden underfoot tomorrow. O foolish mind, what shall we trust in this world? Yeah, I think the person who's normally enamoured of life is well aware that there are shortcomings and disappointments, but the usual attitude is just to shrug your shoulders and get on with it, without considering that there's perhaps more to all this than meets the eye, and taking these disappointments as a cue to look a little bit deeper into things. Whatever is seen or experienced here is subject to change and destruction. There is nothing whatsoever in this world which the wise would rely on. They who are exalted today are trodden underfoot tomorrow. O foolish mind, what shall we trust in this world? Yeah, if you're a king, then, and you're a popular king, it's a bit like being a rock star or a film star. You know, you get adulation, and this is quite, what's been described here is so common nowadays. This adulation can clearly turn to contempt and lascivious interest in your own bad luck or whatever, or your own misery. Alas, I am bound without a cord, I am tainted without impurity. I am fallen, though remaining at the top. O myself, what a mystery. He's fallen, but remaining at the top because he's a king. He's a king who's at the top. He's where everybody wants to be, but he realises he's fallen in that there's no inherent satisfaction in this position. Even as the ever-brilliant sun suddenly faces a cloud floating in front of him, I find this strange delusion mysteriously floating towards me. Who are these friends and relatives? What are these pleasures? Even as a boy seeing a ghost is frightened, I am deluded by these fanciful relatives. Knowing all such relatives as cords that bind me to this old age, death, etc., I still cling to them. Let these relatives continue or perish, what is it to me? Great events and great men have come and gone, leaving just a memory behind. On what shall one place reliance even now? Even the gods in the Trinity have come and gone 1,000,000 times. What is permanent in this universe? It is vain hope that binds one to this nightmare known as world appearance. Fie on this wretched condition. I would think that in modern terms, King Janaka has probably had some kind of breakdown. He's disappeared into this dissociated state where nothing seems quite real. He's awoken to some kind of realization that all this is no more than a dream. So where can he go from here?